Motorists come in all shapes and sizes. Some are excited by sheer performance and the thrill of the open road. Some go for the sporty open-top cabriolet look, while others enjoy more leisurely motoring. There is, of course, a large section of the car-buying public who don't drive for pleasure, but do so as part and parcel of their job. All these people have one thing in common, though. They all want to be proud of the car they drive.
Hello there. Steve Robinson. Pleased to meet you. How can I help?
When looking to buy a new car, they all study the brochures and check the prices. But the one experience that influences their decision to buy above all else is the visit to your showroom and drive in the demonstrator. Here's where they'll get the opportunity to sit in the car and experience it at first hand.
Right, okay. The Rover 200. Right,
They'll make sure it's comfortable.
Yes. Right, okay. Just so you can see the dials. Can you see the dials clearly through the steering wheel? You can.
Check it suits their purpose. Make sure it's available with all the features they desire. And of course, they'll choose the color. And it's here where they'll form their opinion of the car, based on its general feel and presentation. Once the customer's made up his mind which vehicle he's going to buy, it's up to all of us to provide him with a vehicle which meets with his expectations, confirms his decision, and reassures him he spent his money wisely. This program shows how we can achieve that using the customer assurance and vehicle validation, which replaces the pre-delivery inspection. It also highlights the sizable change in philosophy this new assessment represents. Why have we introduced the customer assurance and vehicle validation? Well, during the recent past, significant and consistent improvements in build quality have been achieved by Rover. Consequently, the new vehicle preparation procedure has been updated to reflect these improvements. What was wrong with the old PDI? Well, it had in the main become unnecessary. So to make better use of the time you spend preparing new vehicles, it has been replaced with a more up-to-date procedure. What's the difference between the new assessment and the old PDI? Well, instead of spending most of your time over-checking the vehicle's assembly, the new check shifts the emphasis and encourages you to appraise the vehicle from the new owner's point of view. It asks you to drive the vehicle and assess its overall condition, operation, and just as important, its presentation, from the most effective position of all, the driver's seat. The customer assurance and vehicle validation will become an integral part of the process, designed to help you ensure the vehicle is in A1 condition when it's handed over to its new owner. That process starts here, at Rover's high-tech assembly plants, where it's everyone's aim and responsibility to maintain and constantly improve upon the already high standards of build quality. Each and every vehicle is assembled and individually set up by skilled operators using specialist equipment. This ensures every vehicle is passed for dispatch in a complete and consistent condition. The next stage in the procedure occurs when the vehicle is delivered to you. Rover has worked very closely with the delivery companies and as a result introduced many precautions to minimize damage occurring to vehicles during transit. Even so, Due to the nature of the transportation, checking the vehicle off the transporter when it arrives at your premises still remains an important part of the process. Completion of the customer assurance and vehicle validation is the next stage of the preparation procedure. Of course, this assessment cannot by itself make sure the vehicle is passed to the new owner in a well-prepared condition, but the assessment, combined with your skill and knowledge of what the customer wants and expects, will. It can be divided into a number of different sections. There's a section at the top for your corporate identity and the vehicle details. Adjacent to that, there's a section for the customer's name and address. Below these, you'll find 4 individual boxes, one each for the key, infrared transmitter, radio, and locking wheel nut security code numbers. The validation section occupies the majority of the sheet, and then below that, you'll find the Vehicle Assessment Items Noted section, the Service Action Bulletins Implemented section, and then in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll find the Signature section. We'll now take a more in-depth look at the validation section, which itself can be divided into 3 parts: a preliminary, a vehicle assessment, and a final preparation section. Start with the preliminary section. The operations included in this part of the process are designed to prepare the vehicle for the assessment section. First, you should remove the protective plastic film from the tread plates. And remember, on some vehicles, you'll also need to remove plastic film from the switches. Next, you should remove any plastic and foam protection from outside of the vehicle, including the plastic sill covers. Then inspect the paintwork for obvious damage. Your next operation in the preliminary section is to remove the brake disc protectors. If it's a Rover 800 you're preparing, you'll find the covers are fitted to the inside of the wheels. It's much easier to remove these with the vehicle on a lift. Incidentally, the external wheel covers presently fitted to some Rover 2 and 400 series are to be deleted in favor of the internal type protectors like those used on the Rover 800 series. And, like the Rover 800 series, they must be removed before the vehicle is driven for any distance or used on the road. It's also easier at this stage to fit the front spoiler extension to Rover 800 models. Another important operation that must be carried out on all vehicles is the battery charge condition check. It's likely that the battery will have to work very hard for the first couple of days as the new owner experiments with the electrically powered windows, central locking and other features, so you must make sure it's up to the task. A battery in a satisfactory state of charge will record an open circuit voltage of at least 12.5 volts. Next, set the clock, then code, and set the radio. And again, if it's a Rover 800, set the windows and the sunroof for one-touch operation. Set the tire pressures, including the spare. And while you're in the boot, take the opportunity to ensure the toolkit's present and correct. And finally, when necessary, fit the wheel trims and hubcaps. Next comes the vehicle assessment section, the road test. During this part of the check, try to imagine you're the new owner, driving the vehicle for the very first time, and assess it with this firmly in mind. And remember, it's most important to assess the vehicle in a variety of realistic conditions, just as the new owner will do. A trim rattle, for example, may not occur at speed down your local bypass, but may occur when driving the vehicle slowly along a rougher road. So do just that, and make sure there are no hidden problems. During the run, make sure the engine and transmission perform well from cold, as driving the vehicle from cold will be one of the first things the new owner will do. During the test, make sure the steering operates smoothly. Drive it on each lock and ensure it self-centers. Similar checks should be made to the front and rear suspension, remembering the objective of the assessment is to approve the vehicle and make certain it will meet the customer's expectations. Sleeping policemen are useful real-life test beds for suspension and shock absorbers. If you can, include at least one in your test route. The brakes should be assessed too. Check the performance of the handbrake, and check the foot brake for a balanced, noise-free operation. And few things are more annoying and disappointing to the owner of a new car than a switch that doesn't operate, or a bulb that doesn't work. So make sure all the electrical items function correctly. Go through them all systematically. On return from the road test, have a brief look under bonnet. If you do expose a problem, then it will have to be recorded and rectified as before. But before you do, just reconsider and make certain your concern warrants adjustment or replacement. You'll notice the Service Action section has been carried over onto the new Customer Assurance and Vehicle Validation sheet. Completing and recording the details of any relevant service actions remains an important part of your process. So to the final preparation section, which includes a number of important items that will help you make sure the vehicle is presented to the customer in a pristine condition. And remember, this is your last opportunity to ensure the vehicle's in A1 condition before you hand it over, so you must get it right. You'll need to ensure the correct literature pack is placed in the car, together with an endorsed and stamped service record book, and you must record the security code numbers on the customer's documentation, as well as on the Customer Assurance and Vehicle Validation sheet. Next comes one of the most important operations of the whole procedure, the full valet. Make sure the steering wheel and the interior of the car is clean and tidy, as well as cleaning the exterior. When you've given it your seal of approval, demonstrate your genuine commitment to your customer by attaching a completed customer assurance guarantee. And finally, file the Customer Assurance and Vehicle Validation sheet signed by both your service manager and sales manager with your customer record file for easy future reference. And once you've completed the validation procedure, you can be confident that the vehicle will meet your customer's expectations. Let's just recap on the process of providing a customer-assured vehicle. Vehicles produced by Rover are built to an exacting standard and are dispatched to you in a complete and consistent condition. After checking the vehicle has not been damaged during transit, you'll need to carry out a customer assurance and vehicle validation, which replaces the old PDI and makes more effective use of your time. It will help you ensure the new vehicle will meet with the customer's aspirations. It's divided into 3 parts: a preliminary, a vehicle assessment, and a final preparation section. It will help you prepare and approve the vehicle to make certain it matches the standard he first experienced in the showroom, the standard he based his decision to buy on. With the process complete, there are benefits all round for your sales department, your service department, and most important of all, your customers.
Smashing.
The Customer Assurance and Vehicle Validation, helping you achieve extraordinary customer satisfaction.